Yanni, what are we making today?
Well, I thought we'd make a really nice salad. You know, for us right now it's fall, so I thought it'd be a cool fall salad, and sort of quinoa is very popular, so I thought we'd do a quinoa salad. Let's go ahead and get started here.
That
Why don't you
sounds
go ahead and
good.
throw this all in the bowl.
Okay,
here.
now how did you make this?
Okay, so we got dry quinoa, and I put it in water, and all we did was we boiled it until the quinoa is tender. So it's technically a seed, it's very popular, and the thing too is if you have rice at home, you could use like wild rice, you could use farro, you could use barley, so I don't want you to think that it only can be made with this seed as well.
Okay, so one more question on the
Yes.
quinoa. Do I let it sit after I boil it and all the water's
Yeah, so
absorbed?
you boil it. Once it's tender, you just, as it's cooking, you taste it. When it's nice and tender, you strain it out and you let it cool. And you
Okay.
can put it in the fridge, and you can use it as a a side dish. You can make a salad like we're doing here, or you could actually use it like as a starch. So, super versatile, really easy.
Nice. And I notice you have lots of fruit, but we
Yes.
could add meat or protein if we
Yeah.
wanted as well.
So we're gonna make sort of a fall salad here. But the nice thing about this salad is you can do this with whatever you got in your fridge. You get home after work, you have a few minutes, but you want to get something on the table quickly. When you're done with the process here, hopefully, you use the foundations and you can just mix and match and make a great salad anytime you want.
Oh, that sounds good.
Okay.
Easy.
So I'm gonna do some prepping here, but here are the different, we have, what do we have? Cranberries, figs, apricots, pecans, and this is where it comes into just your judgment. Why don't
Okay.
you take what you feel like you want and just throw in here?
So are there any tricks to balancing what you put in?
Yeah, I think over time you're gonna just get a sense of how much an item contributes in flavor to the
Okay.
overall dish. But right now, I'd say go with what you're comfortable with,
Okay.
and I'll take a look at it and I'll suggest
And
maybe
fix
more
it?
or less.
Yeah, okay.
So just go for it.
Well, I like lots of stuff,
Yes,
so
and-
I'm gonna put a lot in.
I think the fun part about this salad is there's no rule, and I think what you said is really important. You said you like a lot of stuff, so you're gonna put a lot in, and when it comes down to the salad and when you're cooking, put in what you think looks good to you and what you enjoy.
Okay.
Really, this salad has no rules.
And you gave us a nice mix of color
Yeah.
as well,
Color,
so that should be
texture,
nice.
all super important. So I have envy apples, which are eating really great right now. So I got some here. You can throw that in there.
Okay. And would you put them in big pieces like that?
I would.
Okay,
can cut
I
them down
will
if you
then.
want.
No,
Just
no.
Put them right in
All
there.
right.
I think we're just going for it.
Okay.
I got an orange here, and citrus is coming in season now, so I think it's a great addition. To your point, when you're doing a salad, you're thinking about, we have the dry fruit, so that's sweet, right? Now you're adding goat cheese here, and goat cheese is gonna give you creaminess, right? We have the quinoa, which is a very neutral flavor. So the balance we're trying to do is get the right sweetness, creaminess. I'm gonna add some sweetness and acidity.
Okay.
And we wanna get all of these to come together just right. Okay?
And some crunch.
And texture crunch.
Okay. Good. The pomegranates look nice.
Yeah, these are really, really nice right now. So here's the orange here. I'm just gonna, now, if you want, you could just go ahead and peel the segments and throw them in. I happen to like to take the skin off on the outside. And what I'm just gonna do is sort of, you could take this, I'll take the pith off.
Okay.
But you could take this, and if you really wanted to make a really refined salad, you could go
We
in
could cut in between.
and take the segments out like that. And then if I did that, what I would typically do is take the rest and squeeze the juice in.
Right.
Or you could just take it into slices. Now I'm gonna pretend like, I just got home and I really need to eat right away, so I'm just gonna take the slices here. I can throw them like this, or do you want me to cut them down a little more?
Oh, let's put them in like that. I
so
think
here
it'll be
you go. Put
nice.
those in there. And then I have a shallot here that I'm gonna use. And people are always like, well, what are these things and why do we have them in the store, right? So the shallot basically is an onion, and it's very mild. It gives you a nice that onion flavor family, but it doesn't have all the harsh characteristics and sulfur that someone like a regular yellow onion would have. So we're gonna use this, and it's gonna give, I think of an onion as savory, so it's gonna give a savory character to the sweetness and the dairy that we've already got, and the acidity that we're starting to build into this, okay?
Okay, now could I use a red onion or a Maui
Yeah,
onion?
to that point, back to the theme that we want to be able to use whatever you have at home. If you have green onions, I'd put them in. If you have yellow onions, Maui onions, whatever. I think red onions works great. It's just when you start putting those kinds of onions, which can be, I guess, a little harsh or harsher, you have to adjust. I'd put less, or I would slice them very, very thin.
Okay.
So, now in
So you're
this
not getting a big
hunk
bite
in your
of
mouth,
onion.
right? And so even for this, I'm dicing it. I mean, I'm doing really fine mince.
Okay, mine would never quite look like that. I don't
But that's
think.
okay. Let me know.
You can come to my house.
Yeah. We'll have the guys at All in One have a little, we'll dice them up for you.
Okay.
So I'll put that in there. And then, you know, with cooking, seasoning is very important, right? So we have salt and pepper here. Why don't you go ahead and start with the salt, and I'll just keep an eye on here. The salt, this is a grinder. I mean, if you're just using good kosher salt, that's fine. And the amount that you're gonna want to put in is just
More?
a nice, yeah, I would put a little bit more. And one of the things people are always afraid of is seasoning.
Right.
And they always wonder, why cooks make food that tastes better? It's because we're not afraid to season. You don't want to over season, but you want to just have it a little, you know, just right. But you can go a little bit more.
Okay.
So
I
again,
always worry about my mother saying too much salt, too much salt.
right, yeah. So I think that's good.
Good. Okay.
Now pepper, you're gonna grind it in, and I highly recommend if you really want to kick up, one thing you can do to kick up your cooking that's just simple is use a grinder. And so we got a grinder here, and the reason why you want to do that is you're cracking fresh peppercorns, and all of the oils that are in there are still in there that are going to really add that fresh flavor to your salad.
As opposed to if I just
the ground stuff, it's been sitting and it's already ground, and all of those essential oils are just they're gone. So you know you can smell it. It's already you can smell the pepper, right?
I like lots of pepper.
Yeah, just keep going. till you're like, when you're ready.
All
That's
right.
good. Now, that's good.
Okay. What about the arugula?
We're gonna add some of that too because I want to give a little arugula. If you're not familiar with it, it has a nice kind of a peppery, nutty characteristic. So when we're talking about flavor, we have sweet now, right? We have salty,
right?
We have sour. Now we're gonna add a light bitter and nutty component from the arugula to here. The other thing
Can I put it all in? Wait till the end?
Wait till the end.
Okay.
But we can pick some of these in. This is tarragon. So here we go. And we're just gonna pick some leaves in here. You can
Just
chop
whole?
it, pick the whole leaves, throw them in here. And the thing about tarragon, when you smell it, it has a really nice sort of a perfume, a very aromatic character. So, you know, we're building flavor here. We're building texture. We're building color. And so we're adding complexity.
What other herbs might you add in?
Dill would be great in here.
Oh, okay.
I would. You
Basil?
could put basil in here. Thyme would be nice, and I would stick with fresh.
Okay.
I would not put cilantro in here because I think that would be a little bit too aggressive. But sort of the sweet, tender herbs I think would be great in here. And to that point, if I was making this salad, or you were going to make this salad, and you didn't have cranberries, could you make the salad?
Yes.
Just don't put them in, right? If you had raisins, could you use raisins? Totally work fine. So again, don't hesitate to put things in and out. And it's starting to look great, don't you think?
Yeah, it looks so good.
Okay, so now we can go ahead and put the reason we want to put this in the last minute is if we put it in too soon, it might get smashed up and wilted, and I want it to still have some body.
Okay.
So, you know, put a handful, throw it in there.
And you could also put this on a bed of arugula if you wanted to
as well,
serve it
yeah,
that way.
you could do it. So now, what we have left to do is dress the salad.
You're gonna dress it, right?
No, you're gonna dress it. But here's the part. This is the part I think it intimidates people the most. You're like, okay, well, you can get a dressing and pour it on, or you look at recipes and it's like, oh, put oil and vinegar, whisk it, make shallots, and that's a whole nother step. And again, we don't have time. We want to eat. We want to get to the eating part, right? Yes. So the key things that are in a dressing are fat and acid. Okay? And usually the ratio, it used to be, you know, 25% acid to 75% fat. Sometimes I'll do 50%, 50-50, depends on the acid, right? But in this case, we're just gonna kind of eyeball it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take a lemon, cut it in half.
And do you do the acid first and then?
I tend to do the acid, and the reason why is because the fat coats, right? So when I put the fat in here before the acid, it may coat the grains of the rice and the seeds, and then it inhibits the acids.
Acid to get through.
Right, so I wanna go ahead, this is half of a lemon. I'm squeezing that on.
Oh, I love that juicer.
And the thing about, you know, I'm using lemon because it's fresh. It's gonna give really bright acidity versus using vinegar. Now, if you don't have a lemon, you have vinegar, then I would use it, but I would try to use a nicer vinegar, maybe a champagne vinegar or a white wine vinegar. I would tend to stay away from distilled vinegar because it's harsh. Lime would be great, you know, so those are all fun things. Balsamic is good. I tend not to use it because it discolors and sometimes it's really sweet, but you know, you can if you want. Now, so I have the acid in.
Okay.
You can give it a little stir if you want, or you can go straight and put the oil.
Oh, I'm gonna put the oil on.
But I'll just put your thumb on the top here.
Here?
Yep. Now you can control how much goes over here. And just kind of go around it.
Okay.
And the goal here is you want to eyeball it so you have enough fat on there so that it lightly glistens on the salad but doesn't weigh it down.
Okay, so we'll mix it and then check.
Yep, exactly. And that's the key here. We're gonna mix this and then we're gonna taste it. And if it needs something, then we'll adjust it. And I think the other part about cooking that people think is it's like when you're a good cook, it's you do it once and every time it's perfect, and that's not the way it works. When we're in kitchens,
what you do?
no. Well, now it is. But when I started, I was always tasting, I was constantly tasting, and you're always adjusting.
Looks good.
But it looks really good now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's so you here. You want to taste some? Then you can decide if it needs more or less.
And then you'll tell me if it really needs something.
I will tell you if I think it really needs something. But I think it looks really great.
I want to get a bite of everything on here.
Taste some. It's good, right? It doesn't need anything. We're not lying. It really is delicious. So now the salad is done, and you could serve this as is, great family style. But we also want to talk about the idea of versatility as well, right?
Oh.
So I thought, why don't you? I have a plate here. Whoops. Go ahead and put a nice, a nice mound on the plate here. You can pour some on if you want to use it.
We're putting it in the middle?
Whatever feels good to you.
Okay. I know you'll just tidy it up after.
Perfect, right there.
Okay.
So, like that. And this, like, what's great about this salad right now, it's vegetarian. It has the dairy in there, but if you took that dairy out, it would be vegan.
Vegan, right.
And I enjoy vegan and vegetarian dishes, but I also can't help sometimes with a little bit more than that. So, if you wanted a little bit more of a substantial salad or meal, you just take a little prosciutto there, put it on. And now, this is a wonderful appetizer, a wonderful salad. Like, imagine taking this for lunch the next day. It's super easy.
So good.
It's festive, it's really, really easy to enjoy, easy to make. And now, what I would typically do, I like to do is, before I serve it, I would put a little bit of oil because I think it looks nice. It adds a little bit more texture here. Maybe I have a little bit of squeeze of some more citrus, and a little bit of pepper here.
And will this keep for a few days?
Yeah, this salad here, as is, would be fine for 2-3 days. One thing that will happen though is the arugula will wilt further, and if you really wanted to have it last longer than that, I might not put the arugula in
until the last minute.
Or I would put it in a little at a time. But something like this easily lasts you a few days. And to that point, while the salad I think tastes delicious as is, if you made it a few hours before you were going to serve it, then you get a chance to have all the flavors start to marry, and it tastes even delicious. Right. So when we come back and try this in 3 hours, it's going to be fabulous.
Well, it was pretty good as it was.
But here's our salad. Here's our
nice.
fall quinoa salad, and I just finished it with a little bit of prosciutto. If you wanted to, you could do, imagine doing, let's see, sesame seeds, a little sesame oil, ginger, green onions, and the same thing, and you put some wonbok. You change the salad completely now.
Wow,
you have leftover char siu, you put it in here.
Idea.
Yeah, and you do that. Or I'm trying to think of, in the summertime, take a bunch of melons. Take watermelon, honeydew, cantaloupe, put in there, put some, I'm trying to think, put some peaches in here, and then take some balsamic. You have a whole other salad, right? You take this salad, take grilled shrimp that you had left over, put that in there, some garlic, put some dill, put some limes in there. There's another salad. So there's a million ways you can go with this. It's super fun, it's super easy. And I think the important thing is just, there's no rules. Go by feel, be confident.
And you can do it with anything you have at home.
Yeah. So here's our salad. For more recipes like this,
Visit us at foodland.com.